Hello, everyone. My name is Mirna, and on behalf of the Mindalia TV team, we want to welcome you to Mindalia live streaming, where thousands of people around the world gather to see the lectures and interviews organized by Mindalia TV. Today with us, Angel Rebo, CEO, consultant, TV host, international public speaker, and president of the Wisdom for Kids Foundation, is going to be interviewing Karoline Fischer. Karoline is actually a trained doctor from the University of Vienna in Austria. She also has an associate degree from the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City, but currently she works as an emotional healer. With Caroline, we're going to be talking about the power of the mind over our lives. Before starting with them, we want to remind you that Mindalia TV is a nonprofit organization. Our only mission is to share information that can help raise the level of consciousness around the world, and you can help us. How? Subscribing to our channel if you haven't done it yet, leaving us a positive comment down below, or sharing this video that with someone that you know that can benefit from the content that we're going to be sharing here today. Last but not least, we want to tell you that Mindalia TV broadcasts daily in Portuguese through Mindalia Televisão, Spanish Mindalia Televisión, and English Mindalia TV English, as you know. So we invite you to go to our different channels. There you can see what we are developing, and also you can collaborate with your interview or a conference. We just invite you to go to our website. In the top of the page, you will be finding a link. That link is going to take you to a form that you can fill out, and our technical team will be contacting you. We just ask you to please let us know, send us your name, send us your email, and we will be happy to get in contact with you. Last, we want to tell you that we have the active chat open. It's an excellent tool for you to interact with Caroline and with Angel. We please ask you to follow the format, the word question in caps, the place where you are seeing us from, and the actual question that you have related to the content of the conference. And at the end of the interview, Caroline and Angel will be answering. I'm going to be leaving you now with them. Guys, welcome to Mindalia live streaming. The screen is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mirna, and welcome to Mindalia TV, Caroline.
Thank you.
What is that which makes emotions so important in our lives, Caroline?
Wow. Well, I think because they are driving a lot of us, and I think, for me, it's very important to acknowledge them and to also know. I love the word in English, right? Because my mother tongue is German, and so it's not so clear. But emotion, meaning, right, it moves through you. There's a flow in there, right? It's not stuck. So I think that knowledge, that emotions, no matter how bad they might feel in the moment or how good, right, they'll always pass. And I think that's the really amazing thing, because, that's what I think is very important. Because if we get afraid of emotions, or what I find in my business often, or we get just stuck in a certain emotion, then our life can't flow anymore. So it's really important to go through it, but sometimes we need to learn how to deal with certain emotions in order not to be destructive or harming us or anyone else, right? But emotions per se are beautiful things. I mean, they make us human, I think.
So when you were being introduced as an emotional healer, does that mean that you help people heal their emotions, or you help them with your emotions? What is exactly that you do,
It
Caroline?
means I help them access their own emotions, their own thoughts also towards those emotions, right? Because growing up, and I mean, I can't speak for everyone, right? Because everyone is so individual and has their individual childhood and upbringing. But in general, right, we have a certain surrounding, we get a certain input about emotions. We usually get like, oh, these emotions are good, these emotions are bad, right? There's a certain judgment often. I'm not saying everybody grew up with that. And so what I help is to basically enter or access those. Mostly I work with the negative emotions of my patients or clients, because usually they are somewhere in the subconscious driving forces, but we don't recognize them because they're just, people try to push them away because they feel negative, right? And we want to push negative stuff away. I'm not I'm not blaming anyone for doing that, because I do that too. But I'm trying to help them to access those and then transform those. And once they are transformed, right, they are different people basically, and this emotion is gone. I mean, I'm not like, it's not like magical. It's really just you transform it, and then it becomes something else.
Let me ask you a very specific question. Let's go for an example, so Mindalia TV's audience can hear us. So let's say that we wake up every morning like already concerned and worried about everything that we have to do during the day. Okay, so which can be a pretty typical emotion that we have in the morning. So how would you help someone be healed from that defeat or worrisome in the morning when they wake up? What do you think it would be the best way for you to help them?
Definitely. I hope I'm not trying to escape from the question. I'm going to answer it very specifically, but I wanted to say that I would still ask a little bit more. How deep does that go? Is that just organizing? Maybe the person does need to learn to organize a little bit, but if it's really the deep-seated feeling that people or a person is just almost afraid of the next day, right, and can't enjoy life, then I would do this one exercise that I learned that is so powerful. So the exercise is actually called your demons are your friends, or making your demons your friends. Okay, I mean, demon is a very big word, I know, but negative sides. And the exercise, actually, I need to say that because she brought this exercise to the West, is from Zultrim Alione. And if I mispronounce her name, I'm also sorry. But she brought that in a book back from a Buddhist nun, or from Buddhist nuns that developed that. And in this exercise, I would ask the person to localize that fear, that anxiety, that feeling that they have in their body. I would help them to try to see, where is it in your body, okay? And then I would take that and have them personify it, and then have them take that out, sit it in front of them, and talk to that. I know that sounds very abstract, and for some people it's a little bit too much if I just talk about it.
It's great. It's fantastic.
Okay, thank you. But and then it transforms. And I really, I see it every time I have a client. The energy in the room transforms, in the room I work with. And then they make this transformed feeling as to an ally, and it usually changes, and you feed them what they need, because usually every negative side of us needs actually something that it didn't get. That's why it's still here, and that's the principle of that, right? And I remember Jung, I read that, right? The psychiatrist Jung, I forgot if he was psychotherapist or psychiatrist, who lived like a long time ago, right, in the 1900s. He actually was very ahead of his time also, and he said, we need to integrate those shadows. He called them shadows instead of demons, right? If we just exclude them, they are driving us. So I'm trying to really exclude those and transform those, so they are part of ourselves still, right? It's still not changing your identity, not but it's transforming that and making it to an ally. So I don't know if that was clear. I can go into detail.
Oh, it's perfect. It was fantastic. I loved it because as you were explaining it, I was putting myself in that situation of being in the morning, being in bed, and sitting down the worrisome in front of me. Hey, Mr. Worrisome, stop. What kind of conversation do I have to have with Mr. Worrisome?
There are 3 exact questions. The first question is, and for example, I give you a very specific example. When I did this exercise for the first time, I'm just giving this example. I don't mind sharing. So I had eating disorder when I was in my teens. I was never diagnosed, because I grew up in this little village where it was not really, a thing or whatever. But looking back as a doctor now, I know I had an eating disorder. Now I'm fine. I'm very fit, and I eat whatever I feel like eating. Okay. And I mean, I'm eating healthy and not self-conscious, but health conscious. But when I did this exercise for the first time, my eating habits came up. It must be a relic from back in the days. And I saw a banana in me, a big blow up, floaty banana. And that was my demon. And I sat it in front of me. And I mean, that's funny in a way, right? I saw it really funny, but it could be anything. It could be a black bowl, a hole. And I sat it in front of me, me. And you ask 3 questions. What do you want from me? What do you need from me? And what will you feel if I give you what you need? And then you change seats and you sit where the demon sits. And then you sit down there and you don't think, you just intuitively sit there and answer. If you give me what I want, I want love from you. I need appreciation from you, could be, right? Or what I need from you is appreciation. And if I get that from you, then I will feel peace. And then you go on your seat again and you feed that demon peace, because they said, I will be in peace once you give me what I need from you. And you dissolve your ego and you just feed them. So you really watch them and you see their eyes and you just feed until they are full. And once they're full, they usually transfer, like that thing that you see transforms. And then you ask them again, how will you help me? What will you pledge to me? And how will I be able to call you into helping me? And then you go there again, sit across from you, sit where the demon sat, or now the ally, right? And the ally tells you how they will help you. They could say, I will help you by loving you, right? I will help you by protecting you. I will help you by whatever, right? Whatever comes. And you really trust your first instinct, because that's usually the correct thing, right? We try to not think. I mean, there are so many amazing people out there that teach that, right? Eckhart Tolle is I'm a big fan of his, and he actually teaches, don't think, right? Just feel. Or don't think too much, right? And it's also a sickness actually to think too much. And in the West, we are trained to think a lot, and we need to think. I'm not saying thinking is bad, but just not, not overthinking, right?
But, that's so powerful. How did you end up doing this, Karoline?
Well, I actually learned it from a friend whose therapist worked with her with this exercise in Austria. And I tried it. I bought the book and I read it and I tried it. And I was in therapy my entire adult life. I was in psychoanalysis, the typical psychoanalysis where you lay on the couch and you go 4 times a week. The Freud invented that. And then behavioral therapy. And I learned a lot. But this exercise specifically was just so powerful because it's very practical, right? Analysis, you talk about your problems, which is great too and important, but this was so powerful because it really changes behavior, because it transforms something from inside you, and really it's very tangible, although it might sound maybe a little abstract or a little weird for people, right? Because I know I grew up in a society where it would have been a little bit like, what, you see a banana in front of you, it's a little weird, but I know people are more open than in the little village I grew up in, and not saying anything negative. It was a very, interesting time, but it's very tangible. So that's what I'm trying to say. And I found this exercise through her. Yeah. I don't even know the therapist that she worked with, but I tried the exercise and I tried it on myself first, even without a therapist. And it was so powerful. Yeah.
And how did Karoline start her journey as an emotional healer?
Well, I used Thumbtack, and I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a platform that was invented by a guy from California, maybe more than one, but they invented this platform where you can go online and just offer any service, and also rent any service, right? Really, from cleaning, massage, teaching, and emotional healing also. And I actually started teaching German on there, and I got a lot of my German students. And so I knew this platform was a really good one. And then I opened a second business account there for my emotional healing. And that's how I started. And I get my clients from Thumbtack mostly. Yeah. Also word of mouth from these clients.
And how did you learn? How did you learn to be an emotional healer?
Oh, well, I basically learned it by using this exercise on myself, on my friends. Like, I really had my friends come over and do this exercise, and they were changing in front of my very eyes, right? And they themselves said, wow, this is really powerful. And I just was so in awe with it, because I saw that you can really change something you know, because I was stuck in certain patterns where I was like, oh, if I could only change this, you know, and I'm still doing it the same, you know, like we all have something in our lives. So most of the people I think have something that we want to change and we just can't. And this just changes something in you that really helps you, because it's just, so that's how I started. Yeah. I trained on my friends, and then I started having clients, and it worked. And yeah.
Excellent. What would you say is the most frequent emotion that people want to overcome?
Anger, anxiety.
And why do you think why is that?
Good question. I mean, I don't know, but I could just think, you know, we all want to be friendly and happy. That's like the model that is right in every commercial. I mean, everybody wants to feel that way. Yeah, in every movie, it's told to us that that would be good, right? And we all feel good when we are happy, of course. I also feel good when I'm happy. So I think it's normal that everybody wants to feel that way. But then I think anger, people often don't learn how to deal with anger, right? I remember I was very afraid of my own anger because I didn't learn how to deal with it. You know, when I was angry, I wanted to destroy something, but I can't do that, right? Then I kind of, in German, we say, I ate my anger, but that's not good neither, right? So you don't want to destroy relationships because you're angry. You don't want to destroy your bed because you're angry. So that's what I think, that we just don't know how to deal with anger often. Not, you know, again, not everyone, but yeah, I see that definitely common.
You mentioned before childhood and upbringing. Do you think that your childhood or our childhood plays a role in the kind of emotions that we have when we grow up?
I think our childhood plays definitely a role in everything. I mean, I still believe that after a certain age, you are responsible for your childhood. So even if something terrible happened to you, which definitely will influence you, there is no doubt. But you are responsible for healing it and getting over it. Even if somebody else did it to you, which usually as a child, right? And as a child, you are delivered. So you are, unfortunately, the fact is that as a child, you don't have a lot of power, and you know, you really are delivered to whoever is taking care of you, or whoever. Yeah. So, but I think it plays a role. But I also believe, I'm very idealistic and hopeful, so I also believe there's always a way to overcome, and to, but you need to go into you know, into healing, into transformation. Yeah, but it definitely plays a role.
Okay. So, could you give us like a piece of advice of because we obviously, I don't know how many, you know, people talk about the thousands of thoughts we have during the day, 50, 60, 70,000 thoughts a day. But I was wondering, do you think that we also have these many emotions during the day, or it's different? It goes different with emotions.
That is a really good question. I have no idea. I would say it's less emotions than thoughts, because thoughts are so, like, not eternal, but infinite, right? And emotions, there are a certain amount of emotions, or at least that we can put in words, right? Sometimes we might not even be able to put a word on our emotion, because it's just something we don't know, or we haven't felt before. We don't know how to call it. But so I definitely think it's less. And I think that, yeah, there's often one main emotion that people feel, or that is carried already around, you know. I think it shows also in your physiognomy. And I know there are people that specialize on that see that in you, right? So yeah, I think you know, there's, I mean, I love quotes. There are so many quotes, but I think, I mean, I saw this quote once and I'm rephrasing it, so I might be a little off from the original quote, but it says, in your 20s, you have the face that you are given. In your 30s, you have the face that shows what you gave your body, what you ate. And from your 40s onwards, you have the face of your thoughts and how you treated yourself, your emotions, your thoughts, you know. So I think that has to do with inside out, when you say about inside beauty. And I go further, and I don't even say it's not only the face, it's the body. Like, I feel like, yeah, people are really often carrying a lot. They look way older than they are because they are so carrying so much, right? They have such a heavy load, for example. They might be even wrinkle free and look older because they carry something, you know? So there's so much involved in this. Yeah. And through acting, I also kind of watch people a lot, right? And we often, you know, just watch people walk, and even by walking, you can see, oh, how old, you know, like a body shows you an age too. But I think if we don't, yeah, I think, yeah, I think there's often that we carry stuff around that we could actually just shed, and people identify with it also, right? Um, like, oh my God, this happened to me, and now I'm this person. No, like, you don't have to be a certain way just because this happened to you, right? You shouldn't be defined by it. And again, I'm talking idealistic. I'm not saying I can do all of this perfectly that I say here, but in actuality, it is like that. Like, you really choose. You need help, right? But you choose. Yeah.
What is that thing that you like the most about what you do as an emotional healer?
I just love, I really just love working with people. But of course, I love when people trust me with their emotions, with their, and I love when the energy changes and they just feel better afterwards. I mean, there's no feeling compared to that, really. I mean, I'm a very young mother. I have a 10-month-old son, and he's the best thing ever happened to me. But honestly, when I have a patient and he feels better afterwards, she feels better afterwards, it's probably the same. It's different, but it's the same. I get the same satisfaction out of it. Yeah, I feel really good.
Can we use the same word like feelings and emotions indistinctly? Are those the same?
You know, that's a very good question. I haven't thought about that really. I would make a difference. I couldn't put a finger on it, but I think they are different words for a reason, right? I would almost want to look it up now in the dictionary, and I will after we talk. And I think yeah, I might have read it before, but right now I couldn't answer that question. Just that I think there must be a difference. Yeah.
So you mentioned, and you were introduced as an actor as well. So
Yeah.
and you're actually also present online with a beautiful website about you as an actor.
Oh, thank you.
So how does that help you to understand better the people that need help with you and with emotional healing?
Wow, good question. I mean, consciously, I think I'm not sure I used it really. I mean, I think in acting, it just helped me to really see it, because as an actor, you portray, and you know already that when you start in the beginning as this character is transforming. You know, when we are in the drama of our life, we don't know we are going to transform. When we feel pain, we just scream or fight or whatever it is. But in this moment, we as the person don't know in an hour we will feel better, or even be hugging that person we scream at, or in a week we're gonna love them again, or you know. But as the actor, you know that already. I mean, but still you need to play it like you don't know it, right? But what I'm trying to say is, as an actor, it definitely helped me to see, yeah, emotions are really fleeting. It's like an up and down. It's, you know, it's just a flow. You have to just embrace it and go, let it go through you, and not resist. And yeah, it's in that way, acting helped me, because I saw my peers, you know, in acting conservatory do great jobs, and I just saw them transform also. So it's actually interesting, because when I look at it now, thank you for this question. It's such a beautiful question. I actually feel like so connected to it, because it's actually really comparable to my clients and to actors that I see on stage, because it's also like going through an emotion. It's a catharsis, right? That's what they often say. And I remember I worked with an amazing woman. Oh my God, I should know her name. She's an English woman and works with speech mostly. Gothenburg. I need to look it up again. But she, oh my God, she had a class, and she said, oh, she actually, no, she made a play, and it was a drama. And she said there was a man coming to her after the show, and he said, this was terrible. This play was terrible. And she said, and he was very closed off. And she said, why was it terrible? And he said, when this woman screamed, it reminded me of how my wife screamed when we found out our daughter was killed in a car accident. So it was apparently very good, right? But he closed himself off because it was so real. And so, yeah, I mean, things like that, I live for that because there's so much life, there's so much connection, there's so much, of course, pain. I mean, I wouldn't want to relive that. I would block off too. But theater then can actually open it like it did with him, right? I mean, yeah.
What a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing it.
Thank you for letting me share this.
I was, I was thinking about, most of us, we have so many things that we have to do in a day. So many things. We are so busy. We go from, place A to place B and then C and then D. And, we have so many things to do and lists of to-do lists and so many things going on in our lives. So is there a way, with such a busy life, is there a way that we can do something to have better emotions throughout the entire day? Is there something that can be done?
I think, in my opinion, might be my German, I'm Austrian, but German upbringing. Like, I think a routine, a meditation routine, or something in the morning and in the evening that just opens your day and closes it is very good. I'm a Buddhist, for example, so I chant in the morning and in the evening, and I also sometimes meditate. So I think if whatever it is for you, I could just, recommend chanting or meditating, that you do that in the morning and just set your intention for the day. You could even set it, oh, I want this to be a nice day. I want this to be a joyful day. I want the day just to be over. I don't know. You could say whatever you can, but I think it's very good to have rituals. Rituals are very important in life, I think, and they keep you grounded because you revisit yourself how you really are. You touch base with your deeper inner core, because we sometimes need to go out, and we are in different circumstances. So I think that's very important, and that's what I would recommend to everyone. It makes such a big difference for me personally and for people I talk to. If I do this and if I don't, it's just such a different thing, because it grounds you. It's gonna make you more level-headed. It doesn't let you go too much up and down. Even if there's something up, it just grounds you. Yeah.
For the people that have not still started meditating, for instance, is there an easy way to do it?
Well, I mean, I don't know if the one that I'm telling is an easy one, because we have so many thoughts. But following your breath is very powerful. Just really trying to feel your breath go in and go out again, and but also be good to yourself. Thoughts will come, so don't beat yourself up if a lot of thoughts come. Just look at them and don't try to give them so much attention and so much anxiety. Let them maybe, drive by. They will be there afterwards too, especially if they were important. And they come and go too, right? And the important things will stay anyways. But really follow your breath. What is very powerful, ground your feet on the floor. I think I told you that I was also teaching, and I was teaching really little kids. And I remember my youngest one were like 2 years old, and their parents wanted them to learn German, and they were so all over the place, which I understand. They had different things in mind, what to do with their time. But every time I touched their soles of the feet, they would come down. So that's very important, right? And if you think of it, or I think like that, like a baby is in the belly for 9, in the uterus for 9 months, there's no grounding. The soles are not on the ground, right? Just floating around. They come out, they don't walk yet, right? So they don't have their soles on the ground yet. So that's very powerful. I sometimes, when I breastfeed my son, I take his soles too. And so that is very powerful. And we can do that as an adult too. Yeah. Just ground your feet, feel your feet on the ground. That's all. And sometimes people can't at the beginning. It's really interesting that we don't learn that. So how nobody teaches us that in school yet, right? I mean, I think they are going in that direction. They do meditation instead of recess in certain schools now, which is amazing. And I'm really excited. Yeah.
Excellent. So we're going to go to the questions now.
Perfect.
Thank you very much. Before we do that, I would like you to remind our audience, where can we find Karoline Fischer?
So you can find me online on, it's a long address, but let me, www.thumbtack, so that's THUMBTACK, and then we have a slash. This is called slash, right? Yeah. Slash, and then emotional healing Fischer. And the Fischer is a C between the S and the H. It's the German spelling of Fischer. So
okay.
That's where you can find me.
Excellent. Thank you. So let's go for the first question. How can we manage anger?
That's a very good question. And I mean, I would definitely ask this person, you know, where does the anger come from? But in general, if you wanted to do that exercise, you can localize your anger in your body. That's the most powerful thing, because often we also feel we are very much in our head, right? And anger, we find it in our body, and then personify it. And maybe if I explain it well enough, or buy the book about the demons healing, right, you could do that. But try to breathe into it. Try to give the anger space in yourself. Realize the anger won't kill you, even if it feels like that, right? Because sometimes something so traumatic happens in our childhood that we feel like we would die, and we get so angry, and it might be close to death, really, you know. And as a child, you know, even like not getting attention would kill you. But back to that, so really give it space. Know that your anger won't kill you, you know. Really give it space. Let it be there. Know that you are still loved, that your anger is okay, is you're not a bad person because you're angry. The anger shouldn't be gone. It's a sign that you need to work on that. Yeah. So that's what I would say. Yeah.
Wow, that's powerful. Thank you.
Oh, good. I'm happy.
Can you, another question. Thank you, of course. Can you recommend an exercise to deal with fear?
Yeah, I would really recommend the same exercise. And actually, let me go on my computer now, because I didn't say the name of the book perfectly, so I'm gonna let you know that. And of course, you can always work with me, but I also work via Skype. So, but now I'm trying to find the book. I would definitely, yeah, that book, you can work with any emotion with this book. Now I'm just trying to find it in my list here. Yeah, Feeding Your Demons. It's called Feeding Your Demons, Ancient Wisdom for Resolving Inner Conflict.
And who's the author?
The author is Zultrim Alione.
Okay.
It's a very hard to spell and to pronounce name. Do you want me to spell it out?
Yeah, you can, please. Yeah, so for our audience, yes.
TSULTRIM is in Martha. That was her first name, and her last name is A as in apple, L as in love, L as in love, I as in island, O as in Oscar, N as in Nancy, E as in England.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Great.
Next question. Thank you. How can we really apply all the things we learn through self-help and actually put it to practice?
Such a good question, because I have to say, for a long time, I was so smart about all self-help. You know, I knew so many books, I read so much, but I could not apply it. Like, I thought I applied it, but it was only in my head. So I would say really exercises. Like I said, the breathing, the grounding your feet, the feeding your demons. I would say practical exercises. I mean, if you have, you know, big childhood trauma or even like adult trauma, you still might need someone to talk to about it, you know. But in general, really transforming what this person is asking for through practical exercises. What was the question again? Sorry, the specific.
Yeah, how can we really apply all things?
Apply, yeah. Yeah.
Put it to
yeah, concrete exercises, really. Yeah. I mean, find things that where you can apply it. Or if you read a self-help book and they give you an exercise there, just apply it. Like, you need to really bring it into life. That's what I can say, because I would advise that and suggest that to everyone.
Excellent. Thank you. Next question. What is the effect once we get rid of anger? How does our life improve?
If we get rid of anger, well, we feel easier, right? Anger tenses our body. Anger is like very, going back as a doctor, right? Anger gives us, we can't, I mean, sorry to bring that up now, but I don't even know the word in English, but if you can't go to the restroom and make number 2, or it's very hard for you, right? That shows anger, because you're holding on to so much, right? It's tense, your body is tense. You might not be able to sleep very well and very deeply, right? So the question was how to get rid of it. I would again say this exercise, but also accept your anger, Don't see your anger as something bad. I don't know, again, how much my culture influenced me in that I grew up in, but where I grew up, anger wasn't good. Anger wasn't, as a child, even you hear, oh, you can't be angry. You shouldn't be angry, right? And often we hear this. So allow yourself to be angry. I'm not saying allow yourself to hit someone else, but allow yourself to feel the anger. And then if it gets too much, talk to someone or find help, or transform it through this exercise, but really acknowledge your anger first, because your anger, you are not crazy. If you feel anger, your anger is there for a reason. You didn't just develop anger because you were bored. We all have our reasons for our anger, but we need to, let it be there, and then we can watch it and see. Sometimes it's even like, oh, you find out, oh, maybe I don't need to be angry even about that anymore, So, but just face it.
Excellent. Next question. Can we teach this exercise to children?
Wow, that is a good question. I haven't even thought about that. Yeah, I've never had children clients, but I think children will be so open for it. Thank you for this question. Wow. Yeah, I think children would be perfect. Oh my God, thank you so much for this question. I'm going to teach that to my son. This exercise is amazing. Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. Next question. Have you had the chance of working or helping people deal with OCD?
Well, I never had a client actually that was where the OCD was so in the foreground that they came because of the OCD. But OCD is often in the background of an anxiety disorder, or where there is anger in the forefront. And then, you want to hold it together by OCD, because it's often a mechanism where we feel we are in control of our lives, right? And when we had a traumatic experience where we feel so much anger, then we all often feel like we don't have control of our lives. And we often don't, right? As children, like I said. So I didn't have, but I had, like, I didn't have nobody ever came and said, I want to work on my OCD, but people often have it in the background, where it's kind of a mechanism that helps them deal with it. And that transforms also if you work on the foreground problem, because if
Excellent.
you change, yeah.
Next question and last is, how can I help someone going through depression?
Well, be here for them. Don't try to tell them, oh, be happy, just really try to be there for them. Just show them it's fine what they're going through. Again, here it depends. Do they have endogenous or exogenous depression, right? Is it more that they have an imbalance of their own hormonal, hormones inside, and neurotransmitter? Or is it more outside, that they experienced something that now they react with a depression? But listen to them, be there for them. Don't judge it. Don't tell them they should not feel this way. Be there for them.
Excellent. Well, that was the last question. I would like you to remind everybody again, where can we find you online, Karoline?
Thank you so much. So
of course.
Spell it out really slow. www.thumbtack. So that's T as in Thomas, H as in hotel, U as in you. What is a word for umbrella? M as in Martha, B as in boy, T as in Thomas, A as in apple, C as in cat, K as in kayak or kangaroo, and then slash, and then it's emotional healing, Fischer. And Fischer is spelled F as in Frank, I as in island, S as in ship, C as in cat, H as in hotel, E as in England, and R as in room.
Excellent.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you, Karoline, it's been a big pleasure to have you here with us today.
Thank you.
We really love to understand a little bit more, a little bit better about our emotions and how we can deal with them, and the way that you do it. I love the demons exercise. I really loved it, and I have to tell you, I'm going to start using it immediately.
Oh my God!
Absolutely,
I'm so excited.
It's a good. I love the idea of having something that is you're perceiving, that it has chemical reactions inside of you, and you actually take it out and you speak with that emotion. So I can't wait to start doing it.
Nice.
So thank you for being so open.
Happy. Thank you so much for having me. I can't even tell you how much this meant. Oh my God. Yeah. Made me so happy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, this is your home, so you're welcome anytime.
Thank you.
Really, thank you very much for being with us. And again, this is Angel Rebo with Mindalia TV. Thank you very much for being with us today, and we hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.